4-minute warm-up, and then we're going to have a series of drills, skills, and little strength movements to do. 1 minute of each of them into 3 minutes of full stroke. So every time, welcome Tracy. Jump on the cords, please, jump on the cords. Is my watch a bit early, or Tracy, is yours a bit late? I know, you're busy. So we've just started 4-minute warm-up, okay? That is round 1. We've got 10 lots of 4 minutes, 10 lots of 4-minute segments to do. Each segment will have a drill or a skill to start with, and then it'll have 3 minutes of solid front crawl afterwards. So the pattern will be obvious. You've just got to pay attention with each 1 minute. And they'll all be familiar movements, but we've got a nice solid 40 minutes of work to do, and then I'm probably going to have to leave you to do a little cool down. So my grand idea of working Mondays and Fridays, doing them a bit longer, I didn't quite manage to get the Zoom upgrade in place in time, but I will do that, and then we can go even longer. So today's session is exactly 40 minutes. We've got 10 lots of 4-minute segments. And I may have to leave you to do a little cool down on your own. Okay. So 2.5 minutes done, 2.5 minutes done. Hopefully the arms aren't too fatigued from anything swim related over the weekend. We had a very tough swim Saturday morning. Oh, the wind, it was so hard to lifeguard it, to do registration. It was relentless. So hopefully the arms are in good shape. There's 3 minutes, we've got 1 minute to go. If you've got light dumbbells, if you've got tins of beans handy, they will be useful. If you don't have them handy, then don't worry. You can do exactly all of these movements without. And it's going to combine some single arms, it's going to combine some backstroke, it's going to combine some slow motion with a surface recovery. We'll ditch the cords for that. Okay. And round 2, maybe if you can, we'll take a little bit of a breather perhaps, and if you can find some light weights for round 2, that would be amazing. That'd be amazing. So we're going to go single arm left in just a moment for a minute, and then back onto 3 minutes of front crawl. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Good job. Okay, I'm going to go with a very light dumbbell just because I like the accuracy it gives. Okay, I mean, it doesn't matter left arm or right arm as long as we alternate on the next cycle. Okay, shoulder starts high, pulls through to the chin, finishes high. Keep the head nice and still. If you want to practice your breathing movement, when the arm is back out in front, we turn away, Make that connection, fingertips to elbows, set the catch, try to get that horizontal while we're standing, get that horizontal. Obviously, if I was in the water, it would be vertical. Anchor that and then drive the shoulder through. Remember, it's the kick and the hip involvement that will really, really help, okay? Good work, everyone, good work. Just the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. Back on the cords. Back on your cords, please. 3 minutes. Here we go. Just keep these nice and light. Remember, Mondays is about technique and a little bit of light endurance. You don't have to pull the roof down today. That's what we like to do on Fridays. Okay. Take that drill into the full stroke. Set the catch early, try to make that horizontal if you are standing upright with your stretch cords. Set the catch, get the hip involved, make that connection as you switch through. Anchor it and pull through, anchor it, pull through. Try to make that horizontal before the eyes. Good work, everyone. That's a minute nearly done already. A minute nearly gone. Wonderful stuff. Remember, finish the stroke just like the drill. The drill, what we learn from and feel from the drill should also come back into the full stroke. So, you know, if we're working the drill to here, from that position and pulling through and then recovering, obviously in the full stroke, I want to hit that position, I want to hit that position. It's literally a snapshot, okay? Practice the drill and we work the elements of the drill into the full stroke, but also the full stroke, you know, it has to be done and be, you know, take the rewards from the drill. Excuse me. I forgot my allergy tablet today. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Back on track, back on track. Extend the arms, finish, close down the gap. Don't leave that surface area. Close the gap, be narrow, swim narrow. Don't expose anything unnecessarily. Fingertips tip over. I'm pulling with the palm and the forearm. I'm keeping the hand pulling central. Hand under the backbone. 1 minute to go, 1 minute to go. And then we're going to pick up our light dumbbell if you've got one. If not, don't worry. It's not to make things strong. You don't really need the dumbbell for strength. It's like putting a paddle on and just feeling the water a little bit stronger, making a better connection to it. Last 20 seconds, 20 seconds. So, are we ready? Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job, good job. Let's go back to the weight if you've got one. Set the catch, pull the shoulder through. Extension back out in front. Shoulder starts high. Connect, pull through towards the chin. Keep the head nice and still. Take a breath in between. It's useful, even though we don't really need it because we're on dry land, it is useful to remind you that that shoulder is popping back up above the surface, and then you can get that smooth turn to the side. If you sort of finish flat, you're going to struggle to get the head that slight extra few degrees, okay? Don't forget to let the hips follow. The shoulder goes high. This lower left, if my right shoulder is finishing high, my left hip is coming through to enable all of this extension. Last 15 seconds, 15 seconds. Shoulder starts high, connect, the catch, pull through, extension back out in front. Good work. In 3, 2, 1. Back on the cords, please. Back on the cords. Here we go. So, for those that joined late, perhaps you didn't see my email this morning, what with the lake getting really busy and possibly adding another lake session, I'm going to struggle to get 3 of these done. So the idea is we're going to make Monday and Friday a bit longer, and when I pay for Zoom, it'll get even longer, which will be wonderful. But I just got a bit confused by all the pricing plans this morning, so I'm going to hand that all over to Keely. She can take care of that rubbish. She'll be delighted. And then, so Mondays and Fridays will be on. We'll be on, and we'll go a little bit longer, 45, 50 minutes. I've already got Friday's session prepared, and it's a beauty. I can't wait. I nearly did it last Friday, but I knew I'd definitely need the extra time. So it's going to be a good one. Okay. So hopefully that's not too much of a disappointment. But we get a good session Monday, Friday. There's still lots of these floating around on a Wednesday, on YouTube if you want to sort of catch up and make up a previous Wednesday. Okay, that would be appreciated. All right, good stuff, everyone, good stuff. So let's work the back of the stroke. Don't forget, if there's one thing that that advanced single arm drill does, it's not a direct, I mean, it works the catch, it works the rotation. You need your legs and hips involved, but obviously it doesn't isolate the back end. I mean, obviously, most drills, we call it sort of the tough one, because it does need concentration. It does work so many different areas, but obviously nothing is perfect in it working every single movement. So let's just focus on the back of the stroke. The triceps are finishing the back of the stroke. I'm getting the hips involved. The hips are rolling out of the way because I'm standing upright and I can. Just keep the palm facing the feet for as long as possible. Once you've tipped over, fingertips to elbow, keep that palm pushing the water down. The hip rolls out of the way, and there would be my recovery. Don't exit above the hips. You want to try to keep finishing that. Last 30 seconds. Here we go. Next, the next 1 minute, we're going to do some backstroke. And if you've got your chords set up, if we can just stay on the chords, that would be amazing. Okay, if you want to pick up your dumbbells, that also would be good. I might do that on the next round, but for ease of transition, I'm just going to roll into backstroke with my chords in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Nicely done, everyone. Keep the head still. Shoulders are switching from side to side. It's almost identical body position, almost identical. The hands remain at complete opposites to each other. At this point, just past the ear, I pivot the elbow. You probably won't be able to see that. It'd be great if I could turn sideways. But from here, pivot the elbow and then push the water down. That probably didn't work so well. I just haven't got the room here. Okay, but pivot and then you use the palm and the forearm to push that. And you can see how that helps keep things narrow. With a straight arm, I'm going to push to the side. With a straight arm, I'm going to bounce from side to side. To keep you moving forwards on your backstroke, you need to pivot the elbow. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spin them forwards. Let's go back to full stroke, please. Back to full stroke. Fantastic. Good transitions, everyone. Not a second wasted there. Wonderful. All you triathletes, very important work on your transitions. That was one of Ben's top tips. Ben's the green team bike guide, bike fitter, triathlon coach, raced pro as a younger guy. He's becoming more of an independent tri coach now. He's on last week's podcast, and he said about working your transitions. It's something we overlook. If you're an open water swimmer, not really something we need to worry about. Once we collapse on the river's edge, the lake that we're all done, it's lovely. Much prefer that rather than jumping on a bike ride these days. So this is going to take us up to 16 minutes. We should be getting nice and warm now. If you can take a step back, maybe leave it till the next one. Add a little bit of tension, add a little bit of tension. Take a step back or bend your knees a little bit if you don't have the luxury of a stairwell to help your adjust your resistance. Keep it flowing. On the front crawl, on the chords, we've only really, like the backstroke definitely only has one option if it's going to be swum fast. The hands remain at 180 to each other. On the chords, I like the same idea. Obviously, when you're swimming, there's many variations. We can sort of nearly catch it up, but it will mess up your tension on the chords. So let's not worry about that. Keep them opposite each other. The way I have mine set up, it really encourages that. I think most people, you've got left and right secured, so you want sort of them opposite. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. It will just get too confusing. So keep them 180 to each other. Obviously, when it's full stroke front crawl and you're in the pool or in open water, there are some options and you can make those adjustments. What we don't want is to ever be swimming full catch up, full catch up. I mean, if catch up is a nice drill, okay, but it is not a racing technique. I mean, what's the other way to think about catch up? It is literally alternating single arms. That cannot be fast, okay? So if you keep the hands at 180, it's very fast. It's quite draining, quite fatiguing, quite tiring. Often we compromise with sort of a little bit of an overlap, You still get your catch, you anchor, and you still switch through, but it's just not quite so demanding. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Get your dumbbells. Pivot at the waist, and we want a very slow with a recovery. Okay, and a very slow full stroke front crawl. Get some recovery in, whether you're high elbow or whether you are a little bit more open or whether you are a straighter arm. That's absolutely fine. Just bring the surface recovery in a little bit now to work a different group of muscles through the back. That's good, that's good. Keep the head still. Focus on your catch. As soon as you get that arm into a full extension, set the elbow, pop that elbow out wide, work the shoulders, work the back. I don't know about you, but I've only got half kilos, and that's quite demanding. It's quite demanding. We forget about this part of the stroke, and then as that weakens, we get lower, the elbow gets low, the arm has to throw around wider, just gets a little bit trickier. Good stuff. Back on the chords, Here we go. Last block of this sort of first round. That'll be 20 minutes. And then we're going to start it again. Had a lot of good response to Claire, the dietitian, nutritionist. I might speak to her again on the podcast this week. She touched on some GI problems. And obviously when you're doing something as long as an Ironman or a really long distance swim, the stomach cramps, what can you do to help? I might speak to her again this week. It was interesting, and we just ran out of time talking about so many other things. Hopefully that'll be interesting. You can find them on Spotify. You can get them on Apple Podcasts as well. I often distribute the Anchor link. Anchor is what we use to host them, but from that Anchor link, you can get access to Spotify and Google as well. Google distributes podcasts as well, but it's all there. So don't be confused if you see this Anchor thing. I'm also going to speak to a really lovely triathlon coach. She works predominantly at La Santa with female-only groups, Tanya. Known her for a long time, really lovely person, very knowledgeable. She tells me she was a gymnast originally. I didn't know that until we started getting things in motion. She was a gymnast before she became a triathlete. And then her cycling became so strong that she veered off into women's professional cycling. She has done an awful lot of top flight coaching, met some amazing athletes at La Santa, and raced to a very high level. Hopefully you'll like that, but we're hoping to get that organized this week. I'm hoping some of you can make it to our lake this week. The weather's looking a little bit better tomorrow. Thursday, there might be a little bit of rain, but regardless, as long as there's no lightning, we will swim. Saturday was one of those perfect storms. Just the wind got up, the clouds came over, the temperature plummeted. Tracy, I bet you're glad you didn't get up for it. And now it's 3 hours. It's a real we arrive at 6. So obviously now the session for us, once we've finished setting up, becomes 4 hours, but we've got 3 hours in the water, and that's a long time to be battered by the wind and cold. But everyone just got on and enjoyed a swim, which is lovely to see. We had good numbers again. Excellent, everyone. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, shake them out. Maybe get a little drink. We can't be too long. Zoom, a clock is against us. Okay, so if you've got a heavier weight, let me reset that. If you've got a heavier weight, let's get queued up. Let's get ready to start. Whether you've got your beans or your dumbbell, we're going to go 1 minute single arm with a heavier So we just get a bit more accuracy now, but it's always 1 minute and into 3, 1 minute into 3. And it's pretty much the same sequence till we get to the end, but I will not spoil that surprise. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Single arm, please. Single arm. I'm going with a slightly heavier weight now, just to help the accuracy. Almost like I've got a big paddle on and I'm performing the drill in the water. Just helps with the accuracy, keeps it slow. I've got to really focus and think about this one. Remember, start high, catch, pull through, rotate, recover, drive the shoulder back high. Good work. We've got 30 seconds down, 30 to go. Then we're back on our 3 minutes. Then we'll switch to the other arm. Remember, occasionally pop a breath to the side when everything stops moving, just to make sure you've finished the rotation fully. Good work, good work. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Back on the cords, everyone. Okay, can we take a step back? Can we take a step back? Just a little bit of extra tension. Three minutes of full stroke front crawl with a little bit of extra tension if you can. If you've got the grips like me, try to keep the finger, I sort of keep a thumb under here. I know it's not ideal compared to a paddle, but if you keep the thumb, maybe you can just keep a little bit of daylight rather than wrap it around and lose any connection to what would be happening in the water. Keep the fingers just slightly apart. Extend the arms forward. We never mention the word gliding. No one's gliding forward and waiting. We're just extending the arm to its full reach, closing down the surface area, popping the elbow out to pull with the forearm. And I'm thinking I've managed to improve my lazy left arm over the last few weeks. I think so. Time will tell when I get back in the water. But I was sort of dropping that elbow a little bit. Okay, you can sort of see the difference, but I'm happier with that. That's looking a little bit better. Keep the hands pulling down the center line. Keep moving forwards in a straight line. No wide sweeps, nothing reaching across towards the hips. That's what's going to throw the hips around and not have you travel in a straight line. 1 minute and 15 to go. 1 minute and 15 to go before we switch over to our single arm drill again with the opposite arm and a heavier weight if you've got it, Nicely done. Each block is 4 minutes, remember. A minute to go. So we've got single arm left, or whichever one you started with. Then we're on to single arm right. Then we've got our backstroke. And then we've got our slow front crawl with the surface recovery. And then we've got a little bit of a surprise at the end, because obviously we had a warm up at the front and then 4 blocks of 4. Now we're going to go through our 4 blocks of 4 again with our single arm backstroke. And so we need something special at the end to wrap it up to 40 minutes. And trust me, it will be special. It will be special. Worth waiting for. Don't leave. This is the only problem. In the water, around poolside, I can kind of stop you leaving. But with Zoom, you can just click off. And it's a whole lot easier to walk away. But hopefully you won't. 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Okay, back on. Single arm, please. Single arm. Set the catch. Hips are involved. Shoulder starts high, finishes low, recovers, stretch back out in front. Keep the head still, but occasionally pop a breath in once the arm stops moving, just to check you've got the rotation and you're finishing the drill. Good work. Fingertips to elbow. There's your paddle. Anchor that. Really use that to help drive the shoulder through. Imagine the kick is there. You've got your fins on. The hips are involved. Last 20 seconds. Make these good, please. Make these good. So we kind of do this in the other direction. In the water, we add the big paddles to make it a little bit slower, a little bit easier to anchor and hold the water. Then we try it without any paddles. And then the third attempt is with the fist clench. That's when it gets very, very tricky. Last couple, nicely done. And back on the cords, please. Can we go back another fraction? Just a little bit of tension on the cords. Remember, we've just done single arm left and single arm right. I've asked for a light weight to help you slow it down and work on the accuracy. And now let's see that accuracy flow into the full stroke, please. Okay, same movements. Straight swimming in open water without the benefit of the black lines, the lane ropes, the tiles, all moving parallel to you. Everything's helping keep you straight. In open water, we need the stroke to do all of that. And if one arm is taking a wider path, if one arm is a little bit straighter, you cannot stay straight. You cannot stay straight. So we're looking for the same trajectory under the body. Elbow pops out, pulling with the forearm, the same speed, the same angles at the elbow. Everything works in symmetry. And that's why I think it's not a bad idea to occasionally, sort of tie off your cords or use the pair where actually you can sort of create that more of a butterfly movement. So you get that same accuracy, okay? That would not hurt. And actually by keeping the thumbs together, you can encourage that diamond shape from head on, that elbow popping out wide. You can get the same sort of shape. You can get the same speed, the same angles. And I think that works nicely. We actually sort of turn that into a front crawl drill. Use a pull buoy to keep the hips up so you can slow it down. And literally from the thumbs touching, fingertips come to meet, pull through, work on trying from that extension position, create that vertical forearm, and then drive through, and then we just slice carefully back under the water out in front. Call it thumb catch. If you need a demonstration, I will send you a link. Last 40 seconds, keep going. So we're on to our backstroke next. I'm going to pick up my weights for this, just to give the cords a rest. We all know why we like backstroke so much. Head still, breathing is very much under your direct control rather than your technique's control. The head is above, or it should be above the water. Nice and still, shoulders switching from side to side. But also it just offsets so much of that front crawl that we tend to do as triathletes and open water long distance swimmers. Here we go. Pick up your weights if you've got them. Nice and slow. The hands are at 180 to each other. Set your catch, pivot at the elbow. Set your catch, pivot at the elbow. Brush the ear. I'm going to get tangled up in a second. I should have moved forwards a little bit more or a little bit backwards. I'm just going to be a little bit extra cautious. Good, good, good. Nice and slow. Work the rotation. You know when you're not rotating because this becomes very uncomfortable and you can't help but switch and pull a lot wider. But if these shoulders are switching from side to side, you can see how that immediately narrows the stroke. The arms get to pull through in a longer, wider arc. Benefits are there from reversing, unwinding all of that front crawl. 3, 2, 1, back on the cords, Here we go. Can you take another step backwards? If the arms are starting to fatigue, I'd rather you took a step forwards or a step up if it meant the technique holds together a little bit more effectively for a little bit longer. Head still. Let's add in a little bit of breathing. Okay, again, we've been working the backstroke rotation, we're working the single arm rotation, we've been checking that this trailing shoulder finishes high, and the purpose of that, Get the shoulder out of the way by creating your rotation fully. And then it should be quite straightforward to get the breath in. As usual, I'm going 3 to the left and then taking my 3 strokes to switch across to the other side. And all the while, I'm doing my best to keep catching, keep catching. Don't get lazy and lean on a straight arm to help your breath. Catch, catch, catch. And when I turn to breathe, I'm still catching, so that every breathing cycle, it's a useful stroke that took me forwards rather than bounced me up. Good work. Yeah, thank you, Zoom. I know we're running out of time. I did try this morning, but you were very confusing. I did try to upgrade. But you've got all sorts of odd tax things, haven't you? You didn't tell me about that when I typed in my credit card and nearly got mugged. But anyway, I'll be dealing with you later. Good work. Last minute. Then we've got our last minute of full stroke front crawl with the submerged recovery. Then we've got our slow motion with the surface. Pick up the dumbbells for that. And again, remember, I'm going to try with my slightly heavier weights just to give the back a good workout. But stick with your tins of beans or stick with nothing. If you've done enough work, it's not a problem, not a problem. Last 30 seconds, please, swimmers, 30 seconds. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Don't shorten the stroke, don't exit early. I know the triceps are getting tired. Keep pushing though, keep pushing, finishing the stroke, finish the stroke. Reach for the knees in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. A little bit of a bend at the hip. High elbow recovery, if that's your style. More importantly, don't forget the elbow pivot under the water, under the water. Are we going straight arm? Are we going straight arm? You can see how it's just that little bit harder to set the catch off of that straight arm as that momentum falls down. You've got to be very skilled to set that. And I think that's generally why we stick with the high elbow recovery earlier. Certainly for open water, we're a little bit more open now as you've got the less than flat conditions. Okay, but whatever you're doing, make sure you're switching, make sure you're rotating. Cast your mind back to Dan's physio podcast. You must rotate to stop either way, to stop the shoulder impinging. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Back on the cords. Here we go. Can we take another step backwards? It's up to you. It's up to you. So, we've got 3 minutes of steady. We've got 3 minutes steady. And then we've got our final block of 4 minutes, our final block. So we'll take it up to 40 minutes if Zoom allows. I might disappear. Who knows? We'll see how strict they are with that. But the last 4 minutes is quite simple. We're going to go 4 minutes strong, 4 minutes strong. And then you've got your swim down in your own time. I may have to wave you goodbye as I'll disappear. But we've got 3 minutes steady now. And then I want you to pick up the last 4 minutes nice and strong. Maybe take another step back, do your best. Bring all those teaching points together. And don't measure, just by the way you are in relationship to the strength of the chords. I would rather you took a step forwards, a step up, if the technique is struggling. Do not sacrifice good form, good technique, just for the ego sort of saying, oh yeah, I was miles away from the wall. If you're sort of just chopping and, little movements like this, kind of looks like Pinocchio, doesn't it? At the Punch and Judy's or whatever. I would rather better technique, and you just step forwards, okay? Right, coming up on 15 minutes. So that's 35 minutes in total. I'm calculating Zoom's going to give us another 5 minutes here. 5-ish minutes. We could squeeze this in. We could squeeze this in. Good work. Good work. 1 minute steady. 1 minute steady. And then we've got the 4 strong to wrap it up. Do your best, guys. Do your best. We've been working pretty hard. This is going to be one of our longest sets. Not often we go right to the cutoff. But hopefully it will make up for missing Wednesday. But obviously you won't miss Wednesday because we're all going to the lake now, or you're going to watch it on YouTube anyways and do one of the old sessions. So nothing to miss, but there's no reason why we can't just do a bit more on Mondays and Fridays. Okay, everyone, are we ready? In 20 seconds, get ready to take a step back. Get ready to speed up your pace a little bit, but do not shorten the stroke. Do not lose your technique. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Here we go. A little bit faster, a little bit stronger, but with that perfect technique we've refined with all these drills all the way through. Let's just keep going until I disappear, until the screen closes. Oh, it sounds like the family back from the park. Sounds like someone's had a good time. Good work. 30 seconds down, 3.5 to go. Keep there, keep there. Come on, keep going, keep going. Reach for the knees. I'm sure the triceps are screaming now. I'm sure they're screaming, but keep reaching for the knees. Don't shorten that just to keep it going. Add in some breathing. It might just help take your mind off things. But don't lose your catch just because you're turning to breathe. 3 to the right with a catch. 3 to the left with a catch. And then switch it back through to the other side. Less than 3 minutes to go. We're doing great. We're doing great. Come on. Oh, the cheerleaders have arrived. I've got a new boost of energy. I was slacking off there. Here they come. Hello. Hello. Young Aiden loves the stretch cord. I had to wipe his drool off this handle this morning. He's loving another new toy to play with. Yeah? Hope the park was good. Last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Keep going until I disappear, and then do a little bit more. Do a little bit more. And then definitely have a nice swim down, stretch down. Good work. Last 2 minutes, we're nearly there. Keep switching. Look for the stole rash on your shoulder as you finish that extension forwards. Set the catch. Remember, we're pulling fingertips to elbow. Switch to a horizontal position as early as you can. Shoulders are switching from side to side. Hips are moving. If you're in that vertical position. Hello, hello. Okay. Keep going. Don't let it slow. Don't let it slow. 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Oh, Tracy's getting that look on her face as if to say, God, I wish I'd never switched him on now. Your arms are going to feel good if you're going to come to the lake tomorrow. You'll be flying, promise you. Or tired. Last 1 minute. Last 1 minute. Keep going. Keep the speed there, but don't let it shorten. Keep reaching for the knees. Head nice and still. Let's go with a little breathing. 3 to the left, but catch with the opposite arm. 3 to the right. Oh, someone's climbing up the banister. Hello. Last 45 seconds. 40 seconds. Keep going, keep going. 3 to the left. Add in some breathing. 3 to the right. Make sure you're switching to give that breath, the head turn, the space it needs to finish properly. Last 20 seconds. I've got a little ankle biter, literally. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, well done, well done. Hello.